After having this RV for almost 7 months, it is finally time for our long-awaited first camping trip. If you're new to my channel, this is my parents' RV they bought last year. It sat in storage through the winter and we had to repair some leaks in the roof, but now it's finally ready for its first real overnight camping trip. You pick out your outfits.
I'll go choose wisely.
Sparkly full-length gowns, it's what we camp in.
Well, of course it's what we camp in.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
She's packed s'mores. That's how you know we're ready. This is something super cool she does. These are moisture eliminators from the dollar store instead of the usual expensive ones you see on most RV sites. They actually do fill up really quick, so it's nice to not be spending a lot of money on them, but it really helps keep the moisture down in the RV, and hence it's preventing mold and mildew and a lot of just other problems. My job for this morning is packing all of our food for the trip into the cabinets. This has been a really strange experience for me because I'm used to my camper van having everything already inside and ready to go for the most part on any trip. It's felt like preparation has been 40% of this trip and packing another 10%. Houston, we're out of space. And we're only like 2 bins in. So, and we've got a bug problem already. My goodness. Bug. Bug, come here. Come on, come on, come on. Something else I'm realizing both in packing this RV and my camper van is how fast storage fills up. At least in my camper van when I'm packing, it's only for 1 person and it already fills up pretty quick. But in this camper, we're packing for 3 and it is pretty much filled to the brim already. With my new van build, I just keep seeing really awesome things I want to have in my van, but I'm already pretty packed on storage space under the bed, and I'm shocked how 2 people can manage space in a camper van because I'm struggling with just 1. Van life and RV life really is about getting good at minimalism and not only not needing a lot, but not wanting a lot. Welcome to my parents' new RV. This weekend we are taking our very first official big campground camping weekend. So we're going to test out and practice what we've learned watching YouTube videos on how to hook up the sewer system and the electrical and actually use this RV for the very first time outside of the driveway. So I'll be bringing my camper van and camping alongside my mom and my dad and our dog Coda, and we're excited. So they're finishing packing up the rest of their clothes and the things they'll need for this weekend. This trip is all about familiarization with the RV and learning how to use the hookups like electricity and water and sewage. So think of this as our RV test run.
Oh, just tripped over that box in the ground.
And that was video evidence from my mom that my dad makes up stuff to get me in trouble because sometimes we both act like middle schoolers. I thought it would be fun to share with you guys our first trip, so in 10 years when we're RV experts, we can remember where we started. But also because I think it can be encouraging to remember everyone starts somewhere and it takes bravery to go out and try something new for the first time, but it also can be fun and exciting at the same time. So to reiterate how new I am to campground camping, I actually packed a backup power station because I've only ever stayed at one campground before, so mentally I forgot that I can use campground hookups, and I also didn't even think that there might be more than one outlet, so yeah, big brain fart on my part. So this morning at 3:30 in the morning, I woke up, drove all the way to Maryland to Coastal Conversions, and they finished installing my air conditioning system, which is great because it is really, really, really hot here. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to use the AC all weekend long. It actually rained almost all weekend and I didn't need to use the AC once, but you know, it's the thought that counts. And I just don't really know how it works with my battery system yet. I didn't want to take any chances. You know, Murphy's Law and van life, if it can go wrong, it will, and it always does. So I'm bringing an extra power station, and I'm going to use it also to test out my new oven that I got to put in my kitchen. And I feel like even though this trip is for testing out the RV and, you know, our first big weekend with the RV, I'm also using it as a chance to test out more of my van build before I keep building and just making sure I'm making the right decisions. Do I want to add an extra battery because of the AC? Do I like the oven before I build it into my kitchen unit and have like a space for it and then I decide I don't like it? Like, I don't want to do that. So I'm bringing extra power even though I have 412 amp hours in here, and the Cruise and Comfort air conditioner system pulls 55 amps on average. I did break the dial that makes the fan speeds change, so it only works at full speed right now, so it only goes to 55 amps. So that's what we're working with this weekend. So I just wanted to have a backup and kind of run some experiments and see how things are going to pull power once I'm actually living on the road again full time. So that is the plan. We'll see how much of that actually works out. Yes, that is a bed vacuum, and yes, I did get a full 5 seconds of vacuuming in before it needed to be recharged. I got a bed vacuum because I have a cat that sheds a lot, and because my feet tend to track dirt into the bed, and I know Betty's little cat paws will too. I thought it was a great investment, and I bought a higher end one, but honestly, what I discovered today when switching out vacuums is that my normal vacuum with just this extension on it works much better. So, I mean, that's good in the end, but yes, I did fall for online overconsumption ads, okay? I'm human. They're good at convincing you need things that you really don't.
Bye. Treats for Coda.
Treats for me. Another great thing about our test run camping trip is that we get to see how Coda does in the campground, with kids, bikes, other dogs, squirrels, and all of the things. She has her own little seatbelt for when they drive the RV, and I have a feeling she is going to love camping and getting to be outside all day long. So with that, they are off, and I will be following shortly behind. For me, this is something totally new. I never stay at campgrounds, but RV life and van life are just so drastically different, and the RV really does need the hookups at the moment to be sustainable. We could make some future upgrades like solar panels, replacing the broken water tank, and expanding the battery setup, but for small trips right now, this will do. The RV can't really get away with as many stealth camping city spots as my van can, and they actually had to download an app to make sure the roads they took were safe for the RV and didn't have any overpasses that were too low. I've had extremely few experiences where my van doesn't fit down a main road, but it's something they have to think about for every drive. Something else they thought about for the RV that I didn't for my van for this trip was leveling of their vehicle. But honestly, this trip made me consider getting some small compact leveling blocks for my van because I slept on a crazy angle the whole weekend. But thinking back to how I was saying it's crazy how fast storage fills up, it's just crazy how many more things you need or want when you think about camping and boondocking in nature versus city camping. I would never use leveling blocks city camping. It would be so weird to get out of my car at a Walmart and put on some leveling blocks, and it would completely ruin the stealth of my vehicle. But would it be nice? Yes, sometimes it would be. I also got my mom a traveling fireplace from Turboro. That way she can have a fire anywhere she camps that's more smokeless than a regular camping fire pit. I started thinking about tablecloths and awnings and rugs and something to keep the floor of my van clean when trekking in and out over and over. I thought about getting a bug net and firewood and fire starters and a small folding table, and as the list was growing, I was remembering how I was already struggling for storage in the van. But regardless, welcome to Colonial Woods Family Campground in the Pennsylvania countryside near the border of New Jersey. Our spot here is pretty much right where you pull into the campground because all of the spots in the back are for people who have seasonal spots or just straight up live here in the campground. It's a pretty nice spot. We have a picnic table and a fire ring and a big rock. It was plenty of space for Coda to have her own room, but also I do feel a little cramped for staying in nature, but this is kind of how the East Coast is. The West Coast has so many more wide open spaces, and I think that's why, as someone born and raised on the East Coast, I'm so chill with stealth camping and parking in these small spots because it's all we really have out here, besides like a few diamonds in the rough. A little SpongeBob rock. Maybe it's just a jellyfish. Oh no, it's not a jellyfish, it's a sun. I'm so sorry for him. So sorry. Little face. Two little birds sat on my window. What's this?
This is the surge protector.
This big orange surge protector is going to protect the RV's electrical system from wiring faults, power surges, and spikes.
Okay, let's try this. Okay, we're about to have electricity.
Plug it in.
I'm not going to voice this over as if we had any clue what we were doing or if this was right or not. We had a lot of trial and error here and a lot of retrial and re-error.
Feel that.
Oh, dang.
Right, so now you get all that weight hanging off here, though. So if this...
It's from the dollar store.
What I can tell you is we added a few things to the hose, and one is a water filter to help clean the water, to which my dad said that was dumb because when he was a kid, he used to drink right out of the hose.
It's a pressure regulator.
Ooh!
Slowly, no leaks yet. we need to disconnect this somewhere?
Wait, can you disconnect it here? And finally, for the moment of truth. See first. It looks beautiful. Wow. That's all we have to do. Coda! Alright, I cannot be outside anymore without just covering myself in bug spray. My legs are so itchy. And I started this box, which is like a first aid kit of sorts that I'm making up of all the things that I think I might need on the road. Just trying to find all the bug things. Something weird I have in here is food poisoning pills, because one time I was stealth camping and I drank metal cleaner by accident, and I called poison control and they were like, well, if you can throw it up, like, you know, that's a good option. And I was like, I haven't eaten anything but the metal cleaners. So now I have little pellets that if anyone ever needs to throw up anything, there's a lot in here. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I am now prepared for a lot. Surprisingly, I had 4 things in my first aid kit just for bug bites. I'm going to start with this itch relief stick. And let's see how well it works, because let me tell you, I am itching. How many spots are itchy? I'm trying to make sure I'm not placeboing myself and just being like, wow, all of the itching is gone, when really I'm just making it up in my head. Alright, next I'm trying out the bug bite thing. And the only one that really I can still feel is the big one. Ow! It like suctions to your leg. Like, look. I probably should have done different experiments, because now it's like, well, is the itch cream working? Is the bug bite tool working? I don't know. I feel much less itchy. Okay. So these are the citronella candle bracelets. Don't put them right up against your nose. Okay. I'm gonna put 2 on my wrists and 2 on my ankles. 'Cause fashion. I feel slightly ridiculous, but at least I won't feel in pain. Let's go see if we can help with dinner. Okay, actually first I'm going to sacrifice myself up to the bug gods and see if they eat me alive. Superhero landing. I can't tell if they're working or if there's just not bugs around right now. I'm like the opposite of Ant-Man. I scare bugs away. Test results inconclusive. We'll have to see. Hi, Coda.
In a certain range.
No, 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 no.
I just need a spoon if you got one.
Okay, I'm learning things. Okay. Whoa! I'm learning how to film in the dark. We ended the night with a nice little stroll to the bathrooms. We were not surprised though to see a bunch of young kids biking around because we could hear them yelling from the campsite. It felt like we were at a kids' summer camp that had no counselors. It's weird to go out into nature and want to get silence and enjoy and peace and then be surrounded by screaming and running around. And if you think I'm just being an old fart party pooper, this is what we heard when we were walking by some of them. Yep. Because you know we're at a distance. That's so cute. I think the flashlight vibe makes it. Do you want the flashlight? Or turn it's creepy. Like a diner. Yeah, right.
It's right there.
So ends up, someone did call the camp staff on them, and we could tell because when we walked back, we saw them being reprimanded. So don't worry, no one ended up getting hurt that night, and it was all fine in the end. But anyway, I did really enjoy this beautiful walk back to the van. The scenery really was so serene and beautiful. Going my way. Early in the morning. Good night. Good night. Have fun camping. I'll see you in the morning.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face,
Coda!
all
Good morning, Coda!
that ever was
Good morning,
is
Coda!
a rest. Today and not tomorrow, there's no
Coda!
time to borrow.
You can't do that!
Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Oh, there you go. Dorney Park.
I can work that in.
You're right. Scrapbook.
Oh, what you say? So that's not what your purse looks like? No, you've got fish.
So
Oh, this is nice. Really nice.
ooh, look at those.
I just know when I checked in.
And then when we were coming in, he made us just this.
Yeah.
Time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day today.
So it is officially our first day RV camping, and we still have a lot to set up. Seeing their awning in action, especially on this rainy weekend, had me thinking about getting an awning for my van, just because it ended up raining every day and I would have been stuck inside. However, after I learned they don't open with the use of the force, I was a bit disappointed.
I feel like I'm phantasmic.
However, if you perform Mickey Mouse's dance routine from the Disney World Hollywood Studios nighttime fireworks show Fantasmic while chanting the song, that does work. So that is my step-by-step instructions on how to open an RV awning. And then afterwards, later, silently cry about the loss of the third greatest Disney World nighttime show of all time, Rivers of Light. First, obviously, being Magic Kingdom's Happily Ever After, followed by the OG nighttime show, Wishes, which this is an inarguable ranking system. Feel free to fight me on it. I know I am right, okay?
There. There you go. There. Good girl.
Overall, we're definitely finding this test run campground weekend really useful and learning a lot about what we'll need to upgrade or change or learn for our upcoming longer trips. I talk more about a lot of the things we learned in our next video that's part 2 of our camping weekend, where we explore more of the campground, deal with crazy amounts of rain, discover the horror of these campground showers, test out my new van oven by making some brownies, have a movie night on the van, and just continue learning and experimenting with the van and RV. So thank you so much for watching. I know this probably wasn't crazy educational, but hopefully it gives you confidence that if you want to try van life or RV life, day one isn't as scary as it may sound, and that getting out there is achievable, and that some of the fun of this lifestyle is getting to learn how everything works and experimenting as you get closer and closer to your perfect setup, which every van lifer knows is really never achievable, but that's part of the fun, is just always growing and improving. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in part 2.
I left the hall light on in case you come back home. I sent a text that I was wrong. Oh, won't you come back home? Why won't you come